and many have not really had the opportunity to become educated in the teachings of His Majesty and to really study these teachings and our own, to drink water from our own cistern. You understand? To drink water from our own cistern. You understand? Our own water well. And this is it. This is why we're doing what we are doing, because as we study it personally and in certain groups and among certain family members and beloved ones, and what we learn when we study, we recognize that so much of the lack of progress and productivity is because we have been ill-prepared, you understand, and miseducated as well, and not educated at all about the half of our story, which we have not been told. And here we're referring to the Ethiopic Genesis. So in chapter 21 of Genesis, we find the birth of Yitzhak, Ledet, the bondwoman and her son, or Ishmael is cast out. There's a reference there to Galatians chapter 4 verses 21 to 31, and we would advise the sisters especially, but everyone, to get a copy of the teaching that we did recently on Sarah and Hagar and Sarah as well. So there's a footnote here that we need to reference as well, but let's go through the other portion. In this chapter we have Abraham at Beersheba. He also reaches a place called Beersheba. So what we will learn is what is really in these stories, what is in the logos, what's in the mythos, what's really there. We don't have full opportunity to go into all the details in these postings that we do, whether on the YouTubes or the audio dissertations and some of the teachings, because there's so much to be found in here. And each of these portions here of the chapters of the mi'raf, each bait, each paragraphical story or mythos or teaching, there is levels to it that sometimes we have the opportunity to, and the Spirit guides us, and we go into so much hidden wisdom, you know what I'm saying, precious hidden wisdom, that to try to attempt to do that at this time would not be progressive or productive. But let's just cover chapter 22. Chapter 22 is the offering now of Yitzhak, Yitzhak Mesawa'it, which is a type, now becomes a type of Christ. So Isaac, or Yitzhak, and the Messiah, the Anointed, there's a teaching and connection here that we find in the New Testament, that's preached on the New Testament, but however, among many counterfeit Christians, or among Christendom, the so-called Christianity today, many don't know these things. So when they're talking about New Testament and Bible and what Christ is, since it's based on these mythos, or so-called mythological types, how can they know it if they have not learned it? So chapter 22 has the offering of Yitzhak, as well as the Abrahamic covenant is confirmed. So the end of this sabbatical reading and study gets to the confirmation of the Abrahamic covenant, or Kal Kidan, the word of agreement of Abraham, now was confirmed. It now was made firm. In a sense, it's when we say in law nowadays, a law has been ratified. So when we get to the last bait portion of the fourth Sabbath, VAYEIRA Sabbath, Tegelet reading, we will find that the Abrahamic covenant, or the covenant with our ancestor Abraham, is here made firm, is ratified, has been confirmed. And it's very important for us to understand that in the law, when a law has been ratified and confirmed, it's been put into effect. So this means that prior to this was the preparation of the covenant, the preparation of the people in the covenant, of each party, like the negotiations. Let's call it, like when we look in the business world, we call it negotiations. So we have, prior to the confirmation, we have the negotiations concerning the covenant, the announcement. You understand? Different articles. You understand? Just like if you have a covenant or a contract today, there are certain articles, you understand, certain sections that explains each party's responsibility in this particular covenant and what each party gets out of this. You understand? What each party must do, as well as sometimes what each party must not do. So when we come to Genesis 22 verses 15 to 24, is the Abrahamic covenant has now been confirmed, has now been ratified. Now the word confirmed, you understand, firm, something now that's been firm, it's been put into place. You understand? In ancient Egypt, it would have been that this is like been carved into stone, and so to speak. You understand? And it's interesting because when we go through it, we'll see how this was done, the lead up to it, and so forth and so on. Now, let's just backtrack a little bit to chapter 21 and the birth of Jesus, solving these consequences or results that have emanated or have come out of the spirit of this area of Scripture, Genesis chapter 21. But now, we touched on that contrast of Sarah and Hagar, or Agar, and the two covenants. So stay tuned for that particular, or contact us and request that particular teaching on CD or DVD or whatever's available. Primarily it'll be on CD. As we have opportunity, we expand on it with word pictures and we put it on DVD. But the primary audio dissertation and teaching is on CD. So if you're interested, then contact lojsociety.org. You can go to our website, contact us, and request it. You understand? So we're going to start to do this because we touch on other aspects and other teachings, and when we're teaching at that present moment, we recall that, well, we went through this a little bit more in that particular teaching, and ones-on-ones are helping us and working with us, and sometimes we don't have all the resources and everything, so certain things may not be out there up on the page, but we have them available. If ones know about it, then they can request it, and it says ask and it shall be given. So let's walk and talk in that spirit. Now